Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I will be talking about part 2 of the fractions. In the earlier part we talked about introduction to the fractions. In this video we will be talking about the operation on fractions. We will be talking about addition of the fractions, subtraction, multiplication, division. In the end we will be comparing fractions, and the final topic will be converting fractions to decimal numbers. Okay, let's talk about operation on fractions, or arithmetic operation on fractions. We have 4 operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We will follow all these 4 applications on the fractions here. So adding fraction with a common denominator, with a common or with like same denominator. In this case, we pick one like denominator and add numerators and write it over common denominator. So we have 2 fractions here. For instance, 2/3 and 1/3. 2/3 plus 1/3. We have the same denominator. We write that as the same denominator. Then we simply add the numerator. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3/3 is 1. So that's simple. Solve this question for the like denominator. So we have the same denominator. So we will pick 15 denominator, and then simply add 1 plus 3, which will give me, we can do it here. 1 plus 3 over 15 will give me 4/15. That cannot be reduced. Now let's do solve number B. So 480 over 20 plus 20 over 40. 40 over 80 plus 20 over 40. Add this one. We can reduce these fractions simply. We can numerator and denominator can simplify. 0 go with 0, 0 go with 0 right here. So the new fraction will be 4/8 plus 2/4. We can simplify this one. 4 goes into 4 one time, 4 goes into 8 two time, 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 4 two time. So it'll be 1/2 plus 1/2. This after the reduced form. We have the same denominator. We will put the same, and then add simply the numerators. We'll make it 2/2, which will be 1. Let's solve number C. Let's do D. You guys can do C. C is a little bit easier. D is given 3/9 plus 9/27. 9/27. Before we solve it, we can see if it is reducible. 3/9 and 9/27. They're all able to divide by 3. We can divide 3 by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So the first fraction is 1/3. That's reduced to 1/3. Plus the second one, 27 can be divided by 3 and by 9, and 9 can divide by 3. So I will simply do 9. 1 times 9 is 9. 27 divided by 9 is 3. It will be the second fraction became 1/3 also. So we have the same denominator. We pick one denominator and add the numerator, 1 plus 1. So that will give me 2/3. Please solve C. Solve it. See what do you guys get here. Simply pick the same denominator and add the numerator together. Now Adding fraction with the different denominators. This is a tricky one. What we do here. For these type of problems, first we find the least common divisor or LCD. Then the second one, we will divide the LCD by the fractions, one denominator, and add numerator to it, write it in the numerator. Then add the plus sign between the fraction wherever we have in the numerator and repeat step 2, which is divide that LCD by the second denominator and add it to the numerator and write it down as a second term on the numerator. And the fourth step is add the numerators and write it over LCD. Example, 3 over 5 plus 1 over 2. The first step is find the LCD. LCD, least common divisor. After we find the LCD, which is short from the least common divisor, then we divide that LCD by the first fraction's denominator and then multiply by the numerator of it. Then write it down as a numerator. Then add the plus sign, divide the least common divisor or LCD by the second denominator and multiply by the numerator and write it. Now then the fourth step is add both numerators together and write it down as over the same LCD. The example that we have here is 3 over 5 plus 1 over 2. We already said that the common denominator was 10. So we do 10 divided by 5, which is 2, times 3 is, okay, we will multiply later. 10 divided by 2 is, we gotta add this sign, this right there. 10 divided by 2 is 5, times 1. Simplify that. So give us 6 times plus 5 over 10 will be 11 over 10. Improper fraction. So we have quite a few examples. Hopefully these works. I'll solve, since I've given 5, I'll solve 3 of them. I'll solve A, D, and E. Please do the green mark, the B and C. Okay, now let me solve that number. A is 12 over 19 plus 1 over 2. The first step, because we don't have a like denominator, we will have to find the common denominator. 19 is a prime number, so that will be easy to just multiply those two fractions, two denominators. 2 times 19 will give me 38. 38 can be divided by 2 and 19. So the least common, or LCD, common denominator will be 38 right here. 38 divided by 19 is 2. 2 times 12, 2 times 12. Then add the sign there. 38 divided by 2 is 19 times 1, the numerator. Now step 3 says, let's simplify them. There will be 24 plus 19 over 38. And add these two numbers. Simple addition. 9 and 4 will be 13. 1 here, 2 and 2 will be 4. 43 over 38. Now let's do number D. D is 3 as a whole number, 1 over 2 plus 6 over 12 plus 2, 3 over 4. We can see there is something we can reduce here. So we can reduce this one. 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12. Okay, let's see it. So there'll be, before we do anything, we have to convert this to improper fractions. 3 times 2 will be 6, 6 and 1 will be 7 over 2, plus the second fraction will be 1 over 2, plus the third one, we have to simplify this too. 2 times 4 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11 over 4. Now we have these three fractions, we can add them. We have to find a common denominator there, which is 4, because 4 can be divided by 4 into all three numbers. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 times 7 is 14. Add this number, add this sign. To 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 times 1 is 2. Add this sign there. 4 divided by 4 is 1, 1 times 11 is 11. Simplify this, it will be 14 plus 2 plus 11, 16, and will be 27. 27 over 4. 14 plus 2 is 16. 16 and 11 is 27 over 4. That is our D. Now let's solve E. E is 4 as a whole number, 3 over 8 plus 6 over 5 plus just a whole number plus 1 over 2. To solve this thing, see if we can reduce any of these fractions. It doesn't look like any reduction. Let's simplify this thing and convert them to improper fractions. 4 times 8 is 32, 32 and 3 will be 35 over 8 plus 6 over 5 cannot be reduced, plus 15, plus we can reduce this, simplify this one. 1 times 2 is 2, 2 and 1 is 3 over 2. We have to find a common denominator there, because they have different denominators. Any number that doesn't have a denominator, their denominator is 1. So the common denominator there will be, I think it will be 40, because the easiest way is multiply this number by that will be 40. 40 is divisible by 8, by 5 and by 2. Anything is divisible by 1. So common denominator is 40. 40 divided by 8 is 5. 40 divided by 8 is 5. And 5 times 35 is 175. Now 40 divided by 5 is 8. 8 times 6 is 48. 40 divided by 1 is 1. And 40 divided by 1 is 40. 40 times then multiply that by 15 will give us 600. Then sign this addition sign again. 40 divided by 2 is 20. 20 times 3 is 60. So add these numerators together. 60 plus 600 plus 48 plus 175. It gave me 883 over 40. Let's check if it is right. 5 and 8, 13. 1 goes right here. Will be 7 and 4, 11. 11 and 7 will be 18. 18, 1 will go there. Will be 7 and 8. So that's correct.
Is there something wrong?
No, not that I know of.
Let's talk about subtraction of the fractions. Subtraction follows the same rule as addition, but just instead of adding, we add subtraction. There are a few things to remember. If the fractions we are performing subtractions on has like denominator, or they have their denominators are the same, then we subtract the numerator and keep moving. If the denominators are different, then we will find the least common divisor, or LCD, and then follow step 1. If dealing with the mixed fraction, we will convert them to improper fraction and then follow step A and B. Let's do example. Hopefully these steps are easier to understand, but we will follow these steps in the example. Example 1. It says 13 over 4 minus 6 over 4. Since we have the same denominators, this part 1 says, like, if we have the same denominator, we just subtract the numerators. So since denominator is the same, so we will write down as the same denominator, and minus the minuend fraction minus subtrends. So 13 minus 6 will be 7 over 4, or we can write it down. This is an improper fraction, and it will be mixed fraction here. Mixed fraction. Another example, number 2, will be 13 over 4 minus 6 over 3. We don't have a same denominator, so we'll have to find the LCD first. There is a way that we can find LCD. We just split these numbers, write it down as the 2 different digits, and then divide from the 2. So 4 divided by 2, we get 2. 2 divided by 2, we get 1. 3 is not divisible by 2, so we just bring them down until we get to this point. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So 12 is our common least LCD, or we can just simply multiply 4 by 3 will give us 12. Now we find the common divisor, least common divisor. We follow this step. We find that, we divide that by the first denominator, then multiply by that, put this sign, then least common divisor, divide by this, divide by the second fraction's denominator, and multiply by the second fraction's numerator, and then subtract them and write them as a new fraction. So the least common divisor is 12. Divided by 4 will give me 3. 3 times 13 will give me 39. We'll follow the sign, the negative sign there. Negative sign. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 6 is right here. 4 times 6 is 24. So 39 minus 24 will give me 15 over 12, or 1 as a whole number, 3 over 12. So that's a mixed proper fraction. Example number 3 says subtract these 2 fractions here. So as we said, if we have a mixed fraction, we will simplify them and convert them to improper fractions, because the result is improper fraction. 3 times 9 is 27, and 3 will be 30 over 9, minus 2 times 5 is 10. 10 and 4 will be 14 over 5. We got these thing. Excuse me, guys. 30 over 9 minus 14 over 5. The way we can find it, the least common divisor, just multiply these two numbers, will give you the least LCD, that number that can be divisible by this, by first fraction's denominator and the second fraction's denominator. So our LCD is 45, and that's how we find it. 45 divided by 9 will give me 5. 5 times 30, which is here, 5 times 30 is 150. Now 45 divided by 5, which will give me 9. 9 times 14 will be giving 126. Now do the subtraction there, and this will be our new fraction. This will be our difference between those two fractions. I have quite a few examples. I will solve 3, and I'll leave 3 to you. 3 for you. And 3 for you. Okay, I'll pick A, C, E. A is 40 or 50. And 30 over 150. Minus 30 over 150. The first thing we do, we will simplify if we can. We will get rid of the same stuff that we have in a numerator denominator. We can cancel out these zeros, and we see if we can simplify this number. 3 over 15 is reducible. 1 times 133. 3 goes into 3 one time. 15 goes into 3 is 3 times. So the new fraction will be 4 over 5 minus 3 minus 1 over minus 1 over 5. I'm sorry. Fifteen goes into 3 5 times. So we have a same denominator. We write down that one, and then we subtract the numerator. 44 minus 1 will give me 3 over 5. So that's my difference between these two fractions. Now let's do C. Let's do solve C. It's 2 whole number, 3 over 5 minus 2 over 5. Simplify the first fraction. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 and 3 will be 13 over 5 minus 2 over 5. We have the same denominator. We will have the same denominator, and we will subtract the numerators. 13 minus 2 will give me 11 over 5, which will give me 1 as a whole number, 6 over 5. We can do better. It'll give me 2, 1 over 5. That will be a mixed fraction. This is an improper fraction. Now let's solve number E. E is saying 44, 3 over 15 minus 8 over 9. Let's see how that goes. We will simplify that. 44 times 15 will give me 660, plus this 3 will be 663 over 15 minus 8 over 9. So we will have to find the common denominator between 9 and 15. I think 45 can be the number. 45 is the number that can be divided by 9 and by 15 also. Let's see if I can find that 45. 9, 15. I cannot divide either number by 2. Let's go to 3. 9 divided by 3 will be 3. 15 divided by 3 will be 5. 3 divided by 3 we can do it 1, and that cannot be divided here. And that will bring us 5. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. So 45 is my common denominator there. So 45 divided by 15 will be 3 times 663 minus 45 divided by 9 is 5. Is 5 times 8. Now let's multiply these things. 663 multiply by 3, 1989 minus 40 over 45 minus 40. So that will give me 1949 over 45. Is the improper fraction. We can write it down as a proper fraction just by simply dividing the numerator by denominator, and the remainder over denominator will give me a proper fraction plus the whole number. Please go ahead and solve these three questions. I will red mark it. It will be B, D, and F. And let me know if you guys have any question about that. Moving on to multiplication of the fractions. The multiplication is the easier procedure. What we do, if we have a mixed number, we convert them to the improper fractions. If we have the mixed fraction, we will simplify them to improper fractions, and then multiply numerator by numerator, numerator of the first fraction by the numerator of the second fraction, then denominator by first fraction or by the denominator of the second fraction. If you have more, then you can follow up. Example, find the product of 5 over 9 and 3 over 6. So the first thing is, if we have anything simplification, we can simplify. We will go ahead and simplify them. Since this look like 3 over 16, this can be simplified because 3 and 6, they have 3 in common, so we can reduce that. We can write it down as a 5 over 9 time 3 goes into 3 one time, 6 goes into 3 two times. So 5 over 9 times 1 over 2. So multiplying 5 by 1, numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator, 9 times 2. It will be 5 over 18 will be our answer. Now example again, 4 over 5 times 6 over 7. These since we have all these numbers, they cannot be reduced because they don't have anything in common factors. So we will go ahead and multiply numerator by the numerator and denominator by denominator. 4 times 6 is 24. 5 times 7 is 35. So this will be our new product. Examples. Find the product of the following fractions. I will solve B, C, and F this time. Solution. For B, 1 over 5 and 60 over 18. We will see if we can, in the multiplication, we can simplify the second fraction's numerator by we can simplify them, or we can reduce it to the denominator of the first fraction to the numerator of the second fraction, or vice versa. We can simplify them together or like that. See, I can take this 0 out in this one, so it'll give me 105 over 100 multiplied by 6 over 18. 6 over 18 is also reducible. 1 times 6 goes into 6 one time, 18 goes into 6 3 times. So 105 over 100 multiply 1 over 3. Multiply numerator by numerator will be 105, but time 1 is 105. 3 times 100 will be 300. So this will be our new answer. Now I said C. Let's do solve C. 15 over 16 times 17 over 18. We can just multiply them, but before we do that, we have some reduction here we can do. 15 goes into 3 5 times, 18 goes into 3 6 times. Now the new fraction will be 5 over 16 times 17 over 6. Now we can multiply them. 5 times 17, 16 times 6. 5 times 17, let me take my calculator out. 5 times 17 will give me 85. I could do that by mind. 16 times 6 will give me 96. So it's a proper fraction. Now, and we said let's do number F2. F is 60 as a whole number, 1 over 50. 60, 1 over 52 multiply by 23 over 89. 23 over 89. Before we do anything, we have to simplify this fraction, this mixed fraction. 60 times 52 is 3120 plus 1 will give me 3121. 3121 over 52 times 23 over 52. 89. Now we can multiply these two numbers. 3121 multiplied by 23 will give me 71,783 divided by 52 times 89. 4,628. So this is our new product, which is improper fraction. Please do solve these other questions. I mark it green, D, A, and E. And let me know if you have any questions there. Leave it in the comment, please. Moving on to the division of the fractions. In division of the fraction, we write the first fraction, divided fraction, as it is, and we flip the divisor fraction and then do the multiplication of the fraction. So in division, what we can do, if this is these are the two fractions given, this divided by divisor, we write divided as it is and flip this second fraction and multiply these two fractions together then. Okay, so So there is a note: we cannot have a 0 in denominator, or we cannot divide by any number by 0, which will give us undefined, not possible. 3 divided by 0, for example, is not defined. Let's do example. Example is 3 over 5 divided by 4 over 3. We said we will not touch the first fraction or the dividend. We will leave that one as it is, and we will flip the sign to the multiplication. We will flip the division signs to multiplication and flip the second fraction. 4 over 3 will become 3 over 4, and then do the multiplication. 3 times 3 is 9, 5 times 4 is 20. So this is our product of these two fractions, which was originally the division. Example, solve these problems. This time I'll solve A, B, and D. You guys do the rest. You guys do solve C, E, and F. I'll solve A, which is 9 over 19 divided by 6 over 19. So the procedure is, we don't touch the first fraction, we write it as it is, 9 over 19. When we flip the sign, we will flip the sign from division to the multiplication, and flip these two fractions as well. 19 over 6. We got the new fractions. We will cancel 19 with 19. 6 goes into 3 2 times. 9 goes into 3 3 times. It will be 3 over 2, or be 1 over 1, whole number 1 over 2. B is 8 1 over 4 divided by 4 3 over 4. Before we do anything, we will have to simplify these. 8 times 4 is 32. 32 and 1 is 33 over 4. Divide 4 times 4 is 16. 16 and 3, 19 over 4. So the second step is, we will not touch the first fraction. We will leave it as it is, and flip the sign to multiplication, and also this second fraction, flip it, 19. 4 will cancel out with 4. 13 over 19 is the improper fraction, but we can write this 33 over 19 as a mixed number. Simply 33 divided by 19 will give us a 1 as a whole number. 14 divided by 19. Let's do D. Let's do solve D. Before we solve D, we see if we can simplify this thing. We are just simplifying it. We're not flipping it. 1 time 5 goes into 5 1 time, and 90 goes into 5 18 time. So we have 18. Then we for now on we will leave it. Divide by, we simplify this. 9 times 8 is 72. 72 and 5 will be 77 over 8. The next step is, do not touch the first fraction. Flip the sign from division to the multiplication, and flip the second fraction. Any number doesn't have a denominator. Denominator is 1. 8 times 18 will be 144 over 77. This is the improper fraction, but we can write it down as a mixed fraction too. Okay, let's move on to the compound fractions. It is a fraction in which the numerator and denominator, or both, has a one or more fractions. So here is a compound fraction because the numerator has a fraction and denominator has a fraction. Here in this one, you have a fraction in the numerator but not in denominator, only one denominator. Simple. Here the other fraction, the denominator has a fraction. here it has a multiple fractions in the numerator and one fraction in denominator. These are all example of the compound fractions. So there is any number that doesn't have a denominator, its denominator is 1. Well, we don't write 1 because anything divided by 1 is anything, same number. The other note is we cannot divide by 0, as we said, it will be undefined. How to simplify complex compound fractions? Complex or compound fractions, I have them. So the simplification process of the compound fraction will be the first thing we do should simplify the numerator or denominator. Pick one, you just simplify one, or you can do both at the same time, but it will be confusing. Let's try example here. 3 over 5 over 9 over 8. So this is example. What we have to do here is same thing as a division process we did as a division. We will solve this thing here. It will be 3 over 5. Divide this as we said in the fraction beginning of the fraction. This is a division. We can write it down as 9 over 8, and then we can just follow the last section. So 3 over 5, we will not touch it. Now we will flip the sign and we will flip the second fraction. 9 over 8. 1 times 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 9. It will be 8 over 15 for this fraction. Now let's solve number E. I'll do 2 this time, or maybe 3. Let's solve E. Is complicated. That's what I want to do it. We have 2 different processes in numerator and denominator. We have quite a steps to do. 18 over 27. We can simplify that. It's dividable by 3. It will be 6 over 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 over 9. And that is also reducible. Will be 3 over 6 over 9. 3 will be 2 over 3. Divide 9 over 18. We can write that 1 over 2. We simplify this because 9 goes into 9 one time, 18 goes into 9 two times. We'll simplify, we will make this a proper fraction, so we can multiply numerator to the numerator and denominator to the denominator because it's simpler multiplication there. 5 times 3 is 15 and 1, it will be 16 over 3 multiplied by 6 over 5. We still have a step to follow for this one. For the numerator, it will be 2 over 3 divide will go fraction, will be 2 over 1. They will flip. 16 over 3 multiplied by 6 over 5. So the top fraction will be 4 over 3. The bottom fraction, or the denominator, the fraction on the denominator, will be 16 over times 6 will be 96 over 15. Now we can do last step. The fraction in the numerator, we will write it down as it is. This will come division. Division will become multiplication, and we will flip the second fraction. We can reduce it. 1, 3, 3, 5, 3 is 15. I think I can reduce this one to 1, 4, 4, 2, 4, 8, 4, 4, 16. So it will be 5 over 24. So That's how we solve these things. Please go ahead and solve these example. If you would, solve B, C, and D. Solve these things and let me know if you have a question. It's not hard to do, it just requires some practice. We have a comparison here. We will be talking about comparing fractions. We use this one as a equal, greater, and less or smaller. If how we compare fractions, a fraction that we are comparing has like denominator, then the fraction which has larger numerator has larger value. For example, this one, 9 over 8, 3 over 8. They have the like denominators, but the bigger one will be the one that has a larger numerator. So 9 is larger than 3, so 9 over 8 is a larger fraction or the bigger fraction, and then 3 over 8. We are talking about the positive numbers yet. We're not talking about the negative or the minus numbers here. Make this in mind. We will come to this later on in the upper level classes when we do discuss the negative numbers there. But here we are just talking about the positive integers here. If the denominators are different, then we can do two things. One, divide the numerator by denominator and compare the decimal values, which is easy. Just divide the numerator and get the numerator by the denominator, get the value, and then compare as a whole numbers with whole numbers combined with the decimals. The second one is find the common denominator and then create an equivalent fraction and compare using step 1. So let's do this example. 9 over 8 and 8 over 9. Show which fraction is larger. We don't have a common denominator, so we have a step to do. Or the first thing we said, we can divide 9 by 8 and 8 by 9. See which one is bigger and which one is not. We can see that 9 over 8 is bigger than 8 over 9 because this is 9 over 8 is bigger than larger than 1 and 8 over 9 is less than 1. But let's see the logical reasoning. Since they don't have like denominators, we find common denominators. 9 over 8 and 8 over 9. 2 is the common denominator. We will create equivalent fractions there. So 72 will be our new denominator. So 72 divided by 8 will give me 9. 9 times 9 is 81. 81 over 72 is my new equivalent fraction for that. Now 72 divided by 9 will give me 8. 8 times 8 is 64. And this is a new equivalent fraction for this one. We have this, we just create the same denominators. Now as from rule 1 we can say with the same denominators the bigger fraction is the one that has a bigger value in the numerator, which 81 is bigger than 64. Thus this fraction 81 over 72 is bigger than 64 over 72, or 9 over 8 is larger than 8 over 9. There are quite a few examples. We will follow up. Example, I'll do at least 3 this time. Okay, A. 8 over 19 compared 8 over 19 and 3 over 5. A is solution. 8 over 19 and compare it with 3 over 5. We have no common denominator. There's nothing common to compare it. We can simply divide 8 by 19, 3 by 5 and find the answer. Or we can create a common denominator. 19 is a prime number. So let's do 5 times 19 will be 95, will be the common denominator. I'll find it. So 95 is our common denominator. We will create equivalent fractions to 8 over 19 and 3 over 5. 95 divided by 19. 5 times 8 is 40. This is equivalent to 8 over 19. Now we will create an equivalent fractions to 3 over 5. So we common denominator is a 95. 95 divided by 5 is 19 times 3 would be 57 over 95, and this is equivalent to 3 over 5. So we have the now comparing these 40 over 95 and 57 over 95. So we have the same denominators right now. The bigger one will be the one with the bigger numerator. The larger numerator, 57 over 95, is larger than 40 over 95. Or we can say 3 over 5 is larger than 8 over 19. That's A. Now let's compare let's compare B. 6 over 15 and 3 over 5. And 3 over 5. I think I can reduce this thing. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15. Now the new fraction will be 2 over 5 and 3 over 5. Since we got the same denominators, like denominators, the bigger one, the larger fraction will be the one that has a larger value in the numerator. So 3 over 5 is larger than 2 over 5. Okay, I will do solve number C. C is 301 over 500 and 6 over 7. 6 over 7. We can find the common denominator here. This common denominator, the easy way will be 3500. 3500 divided by 500. 3500 divided by 500 will give me 7 times 301 will give me 2107. The second fraction, this one will be 3500 divided by 7 will give me 500 times 6 will give me 3000. 3000 over 3500. Now to compare these two, we got the same denominators, like denominators. We created equivalent fractions. 301 over 500 is the equivalent to 2107 over 3500, and 3000 or say like 6 over 7 is equivalent to 3000 over 3500. So if we compare these, we have the same denominators, but the larger will be the one with the larger value in the numerator. So 3000 over 3500 is larger than 2107 over 3500. Or we can say 301 over 500 is smaller than 6 over 7. Okay, the last topic, forgot to talk about this, is converting fractions to decimals. With that, we can simply divide the numerator by the denominator, and it will give us our fraction values. To convert fraction to decimals, decimals. Divide numerator by denominator. For example, if we have a 10/12, the first thing you can do is simplify this thing. It will be 5/6. Now divide 5 by 6. 5 by 6 will give you 0.8333. So that will be the answer for that. Another example will be 11/13. To do that, just divide 11 by 13. 11 divided by 13 is, that will give us a 0.84615. And these keep for this 5/6 or 5 divided by 6, it give us a 0.83 will be repeated. And we call it like repeating decimals. With this one, 11/13, it will give us this number here. So that's how we convert fractions to decimals. But what if we have a whole number, whole plus proper fraction, which is improper fraction. So in that case, we will write down a whole number as a whole and divide the numerator by the denominator. For example, 5 as a whole number, 1/2. So we can just write down 5, and then divide 1 by 2 will be half, 5.5. So 5.5 will be the answer for this. Another example will be, if we have a 13, so is a whole number 3/5. So same thing, exact thing. Write 13 as, you don't have to simplify it here. You don't have to make it an improper fraction. You can, but it will be easier this way. Do write 13 as a whole number, then divide 3 by 5 will give you 0.6. So 13.6 is as equal to the mixed number right here. So these should be equal. 13, let me do it other way. 13 plus 3 divided by 5. That give me the exact same thing there. 13 times 5 plus 3, 68 divided by 5, 13.6. Yes. If you multiply 13 by 5, add 3, divide by 5, that still give you 13.6. So doing that will be a little bit longer way. This is a shorter way to do it. Write the whole number as it is and divide the proper fraction and write it down close to it.